Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Psalms from the Trails. Those all ones of you who've been watching this whole thing may be surprised to see it come back again. I haven't done it in a while, and that's probably because I've been too busy with this whole church thing to get out on the trails all that much. But today, after much planning, arrangement, and very hard work, I managed to get a minute to come out to the trails, and I thought, you know what, I like hiking in my free time, but you know what I like more? Hiking and reading the Bible. And since I'm a compulsive taker of videos as a result of this whole online church thing, I figured I would invite you to join me one more time, and see if we can't take a little crack at the Psalm. So you may have noticed I'm holding my phone by hand today, since it's been so long since I've done this. My old tripod's long since gone. My equipment for doing this, not so good. And even the old body isn't as good a shape as it was this time last year when I was still doing these. So I do hope you will bear with me. But for today, I brought, as you can see, my old leather-bound Bible out here with me. And I figured I would take a crack at a somewhat random psalm. I kind of flipped through it a minute ago, and I came to Psalm 36, which is sitting with me kind of interesting. And I figured I'd read that a little bit. I'll talk about it for a minute, and then I will stop the video and go hike some more, then post it later. So let's take a look at Psalm number 36. For those of you who never followed any of these ever, I don't blame you, for one. And for two, I'm reading along in an old leather-bound NIV version. Not normally a fan of the NIV, but you know what? It was a gift from my parents, and the NIV is not that bad, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. My recommendation for you playing along in the home game is that you check out the NRSV or NRSVUE. It's usually a little more accurate to the source languages. But that all said, I've got the NIV, and I'm going to use it. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'll even flip the camera around so you can read with me. Oh, it won't let me. Never mind. So, here we are with the Bible, Psalm 36. I have a message from God in my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. There is no fear of God before their eyes. In their own eyes, they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. The words of their mouth are wicked and deceitful. They fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds, they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens, your faithfulness to the skies, your righteousness is like the highest mountains, your justice like the great deep. You, Lord, preserve both people and animals. How priceless is your unfailing love, O God. People take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light. Continue your love to those who know you, your righteousness to the upright in heart. May the foot of the proud not come against me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. See how the evildoers lie fallen, thrown down, not able to rise. Now, for those of you who've seen me do these psalm readings from time to time, you know there is a consistent theme, particularly with the earlier of the Davidic psalms, in that he kind of almost gets the point, but misses it a lot, which, if you know the story of David, it's pretty consistent. He gets close, but he didn't quite get there. Here, we see him wrestling with the sinfulness of the wicked. And he's quite astute in how he highlights how wicked people are. In particular, how they don't notice it. In verse 2, in their own eyes, they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. Most of the truly sinful people I've ever encountered are exactly like that. They think themselves the good guy. Everyone's the main character in their own story, right? And this is no different. The truly sinful, the truly gross and destructive among us are the ones who think themselves the good guys. And everything he's painting here is highlighting his encounter with that. And in verse 5, we get a pivot, a really cool pivot, where David goes from these screwed up, messed up, unwise, sinful people. They never even realize they're the bad guys. Also, God, you're awesome. You preserve both people and animals. Your unfailing love goes to everybody. I don't know if he sees the irony here, that God's love is extended to to the righteous and the wicked alike. He doesn't really dwell on that, but it seems like he's almost got to that. He talks about how everybody gets to feast on the abundance of his house, and then you get to the end. See how the evildoers lie fallen, thrown down, not able to rise. Continue to love those who know you, your righteousness. May the foot of the proud not come against me. Like, he's trying to do the human thing and separate the righteous from the unrighteous and tell God, yeah, you do all these good things. Maybe do them just for the good people. And God's like, nah, I'm going to take care of everybody. That's kind of how it is, you know. I spent a lot of time in our church, particularly those of you who've been on our Discord server, who've been attending our Bible studies, who even showed up at the church in person. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about the abuses that the Bible's been put to, the way people have used it unrighteously and used our Christian faith unrighteously over the years. But it's worth noting that that is a human characteristic and one we all share. This want to identify bad guys and pin everything on them. David's dancing around it in this psalm, but the truth of it is, God looks out for all of us in our own way and in our own time. Good and evil comes to all of us, and good and evil comes and goes. It passes. These things too shall pass. But for all of us, the constant is God. The availability of God, our access to the Almighty, does not change no matter how good, bad, sinful, wicked, or righteous we might be. I spent a lot of time talking about deconstruction in this church, about pointing out the wickedness and the abuses, but we have to remember that hope in there too. We have to, of course, be self-critical as Christians. We have to always be asking, are we the baddies? Am I the bad guy here? Because historically our faith has not done that. But we can also take hope. The next step past that is whether we are the baddies or not, whether we're the good guys or the bad guys, the righteous or the unrighteous. God's table is open to all. And that right there, that feast that God has prepared, that he does not restrict to anybody, that's where the center of our faith journey is. And if you don't mind me using a shameless plug, part of the reason this sticks with me is because we're going to be doing exactly that for Christmas Eve. For those of you who are Japan side at least, we're going to be having a Christmas Eve communion service where we all sit and enjoy the feast at God's table together in anticipation of the coming of Christ. You'll find the details of that below in the link and on the website and all that. But that's who we are. Not just us as unfinished community, but us as a wider, larger Christian church. So that is, if I can invite you to keep something in mind, keep that one in mind. That open table that is there for all of us, laid by God. That's about all I have to share with you guys for today. I hope it was edifying, hope it was useful. I have absolutely no idea if and or when the next one of these videos will happen. But if it does, if you're subscribed or on the YouTube or on the pod, you'll be the first to know. I don't think this one goes on the pod, though, because you'd miss all the pretty scenery, which, oh my lord, we got us some pretty scenery around here. And not to mention, nice little waterfall in the dam over there. It's going to be good out here. In fact, for those of you Japan side, I'm thinking into the new year, maybe doing some nature hike Bible studies. That could be fun. In any case, if you're not on the Discord, get on the Discord. It's where most of our discussion's happening. It's where most of our information is spread. Facebook, YouTube, the usual places you can all follow us, like, share, subscribe. All of the fun online things one must say to please the almighty algorithm. But most importantly, just know this week that I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you, and God is with you too. Take care, y'all.